Hello, everybody. It is a great honor to have the Justice Dance Performance Project with us. And in a minute, I'm going to introduce the director for 35 years, Judy Dworin. And for many, many years, I have been hoping that we would have an opportunity to have you, Judy, and your wonderful artists here. And today's the day. So thank you for your coming back into the church after service. We are delighted to host this beautiful performance called With These Hands. I had the pleasure last spring of seeing this production at York Correction at the end of your year there. And so I'm very excited to see your beautiful performers share it with us today. I'm going to turn over the mic to Judy, but I just also want to thank the FCCOL Benevolent Society for hosting this event today. Their contributions enabled us to be able to make this happen. I also want to thank the Florence Griswold Museum, who also contributed, and then some anonymous donors. So we're delighted to be able to be hosts to the intersection of art and social justice, which is one of our passions here at FCCOL. Judy?
So hi everybody. It's really quite amazing to be here to do this piece today. It was a beautiful event, as it always is at York. We have a year-long performance residency that culminates in a performance for those that are inside at the prison, as well as for some invited guests, and for the families of the women who create this work with us. And this piece, With These Hands, was a piece in which we focused on the idea of hands as expressions of ourselves in various ways. And the women have writing prompts that I give them each time that they produce the work that you'll see today. I think we may just take a moment to think about the fact that the words that you're going to hear today are words of women that are 10 minutes from here, that are in a prison where they can't leave. We go in there and teach and have been teaching there for 20 years. But they're there, and many of them are there for a very, very long time. One of the pieces that you'll see today is by somebody who's been in our group for 20 years. So we have found at JDPP, and I have found personally, that this work has changed me and changed my life. It made a direction in our organization that was not there before we went in, and it continues to inform me of the humanity that is the basis of all of us, and that we can never just write somebody off as being something because of one thing that they did in their life that got them into prison. And I have found the women there to be beautiful beings. And what is particularly meaningful today is that the piece is being performed by women, many of whom have spent time at York. And so they really have the idea of the mission of taking the words of their sisters out to all of you. And this is the first piece that we've done that is almost purely that. So it is a staged reading, but it is read from the heart and danced and sung from the heart. And we ask you to join us and open your hearts as well. So thank you very much for being here. I hope you will turn off your phones if you haven't done so already, and we would ask that you not take pictures or video or anything like that during the show. So thank you very much.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. if you can.
The first word she signed was music. One chubby hand moving back and forth over forearm. Music was everything, even hunger. Music was an open mouth for the airplane spoon. Music. We'd play show tunes while she ate. Music. Music when she meant milk. So I'd pour her a cup and hum lullabies. Music. Music was kicking her tiny feet because she's too tired to sleep. Music was the radiant smile when she woke up from her nap. Music was lift me up. Music was I want my blanket. Music is hello, goodbye. Music is her. The second word she signed was bird. Beaked finger to thumb, next to mouth. Bird was everything outside. Window, tree, car, airplane, and birds. She was naming the world as she saw it. Always music and bird. Bird and music. Same in English, French, and Spanish. Same, no matter who was speaking. Next was more music, more bird, more of everything. Bath, yogurt, dancing. More playing peekaboo, more walking the dog, and more. I wish I could have more of that time. I remember how she clung to my shoulder as I inhaled the sweet scent of her little head, and she turned to point at a tiny caterpillar inching across the table, then signs, more.
When I think about all the wonderful things my hands have done, I can't help but weep for what they can no longer do. My hands, locked behind these walls, mean years without hanging a holiday photo of my family above the fireplace, brushing my daughter's hair when she's having a tough day, helping my neighbor carry her groceries in from the car, cradling my grandbabies and watching them sleep, unlocking my own door. But I can't live in this place of what can't be. So I focus instead on what my hands can still do. They can hold the phone that connects me to those I love. They can wipe the tears I cried for the life I took. They can write this piece to share with you. They can lift my prayers, my hands in prayers for a better tomorrow.
Ago, during a very dark time, I planted many seeds in a flower box my fiance constructed for me as a mental distraction. I sowed within it a variety of vegetables, including a kale plant and a green bell pepper plant. I didn't have high expectations, but I appreciated the process. It was good to get my hands in the dirt, feel it on my fingers. The first year, the kale had small sprout, not worth mentioning, and the pepper plant produced a small twig with 3 sparse leaves. The unnoteworthy harvest left little to be uprooted or cleaned come summer, so I didn't bother. The next year, and those thereafter, the plant always came back. The garden always prospered. The harvest was even better each year than the year before. Much like life trickies, trials and downfalls, the winters, as I'd like to call them, can be rough. But those winters, however harsh and cold, did not need to hinder our process. When we make it through them, we are living proof of how much stronger we can be the next year. Our roots get thicker with each new season as we grow taller towards the light, away from the dirt. Despite the odds, we can flourish year after year.
These hands have done nothing but reap and sow. Work day until night, feeling so sore. Inheriting the jobs of generations before. Walking tirelessly to get. These hands have done nothing but reap and sow. Work day until night, feeling so sore. Inheriting the jobs of generations before, working tirelessly to gain more than we deserve. There are no other options forwarded, no luxuries for us to endure. After all, I was bred to work hard like an animal on the farm. My preceding bloodline inspires my drive, gives me a reason to have a sense of pride. Life wasn't always so easy, but we always found a way to survive, fighting tooth and nail just so we can thrive. Collecting, saving, hoarding, wearing rags and sharing a basin. These are all the things that made me keep chasing. Chasing security I never had for a future of worthy generations. These hands have felt a hard day's work. I hold my head up high, knowing my own worth. Society commanding and judging, sitting on thrones so high, yet they don't truly know what it takes just to survive. These hands are my father's hands and his father's before. I am proud to know I will gain anything that I set out for. Work hard, don't sell yourself short. You can do anything that lives in your heart. A feeling of exhaustion follows me after a day's work. Not much is left to say, no need to explain. I will let my hands do the talking.
These hands were not destined for evil. I used to have so much love, joy, and kindness in my heart. My hands created art, danced, learned, embraced loved ones, just as all hands do. Hands are a beautiful part of us, so much potential, forever growing and changing us. But then, are they not doomed to also be our mistakes? These hands, one day, without me realizing, stopped playing, stopped creating, stopped aiding in my growth. They found a companion in alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Addicted to lowered inhibitions, I couldn't see all of my ambitions turning to dust. Drink after drink, shot after shot, night after night, I was nothing but wasted potential. Never seeming to realize a necessary limit, these hands got behind the wheel. With blurred lines and a blurred mind, these hands took a life. He and I are now forever connected. His absence is always with me. Crippling guilt, unbearable shame. Now, my hands cover my eyes when I can't face the mirror. They hold my head while I cry, screaming for forgiveness. They say, with great power comes great responsibility. I was naive not to realize how much power was held within my hands. Now, with these hands, I seek atonement. I will use them to prevent others from the same fate, his and mine. I will claw my way out of the deep, dark depths of my mistakes and remain hopeful for the salvation that awaits. These hands were not destined for evil. Love, joy, and kindness are still in my heart. I will not stop until the world can once again see that. This potential will never again be wasted.
When I was small, I used to sit at my mother's feet and watch my grandmother do her hair. They would laugh and sing, and I couldn't wait until it was my turn to get my hair done. My mom would tell me stories while she did my hair. She would tell me stories about how my grandma did her hair at my age, and she would tell me how pretty and smart I was. I remember when I was young wanting daughters. I used to pretend that my dolls were my daughters, and I would tell them stories like my mom did while doing my hair. Now that I have my own daughter, I realize how important these traditions are in my family. My daughter is brave, smart, resilient, and very beautiful. I would sometimes stand at her door and watch her do her own doll's hair, telling them stories like I did when I was a child. I believe that my grandmother's hands gave my mother self-esteem, self-confidence, beauty, and intelligence that she passed down to me through her hands. I pray that my hands will pass this on to my daughter's hands, who will in turn do the same.
When I was born, my mom counted the fingers on my hands and the toes on my feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She whispered, "Perfect." As I grew, she watched as I used my fingers to pick up everything I could reach to put in my mouth. Instead of yelling or swatting at my hands, she held them, kissing the sticky tips of my fingers. She whispered, "Perfect." At a young age, I thought I was an artist. The 2 handprints so oddly placed on paper with bright paint that was still under my fingernails was my masterpiece. When I arrived home, picture in hand, I held it up so high to show my mom. She whispered, "Perfect." First date with a boy. I was so nervous that I was biting the nails of my fingers and checking myself out in the mirror, hoping that I was pretty enough. My mom watches I straightened my clothes out for the 100th time. Putting her arms around me, she whispered, "Perfect." Despite being a teenager, I went through the scariest experience of my life. It took hours from beginning to end, and the hardest part only took 20 minutes. But it seemed like an eternity. Yet at the end, my mom counted the fingers and toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, before she handed me my son. 2 more sets of 10 followed. For each one, she whispered, "Perfect." As the ring was placed on my finger after I said I do, the happiness faded as quickly as the honeymoon did. The abuse I endured at the hands of my husband became too unbearable. I felt trapped. It took 1 perfect finger to pull a trigger and destroy 2 families. After I was arrested and brought to York, my mom came to visit me. She held her hand against the plexiglass in the non-contact room as I placed mine on the other side. And she whispered, "Still perfect."
When my heart aches and it feels like it's all too much to bear, I take my hand and place it on my chest. I close my eyes, feel my heartbeat, sob and take deep breaths. I remind myself that although the pain may seem unmeasurable, my heart still beats. I am alive, capable of love, joy, and surviving this heartache. When my anxiety is rushing through my veins and I feel like I'm about to burst, I place my hand on the nearest wall. I feel the cool, sturdy cement. I remind myself that I am as strong and sturdy as the wall I touch, there is no need to be anxious. When I am feeling defeated and unworthy, dripping in superficial inadequacy, I take my hand and place it under my belly, where there's a tiny horizontal scar. I remind myself that my body created an entire tiny human, a brain, heart, lungs, a little boy that calls me mama, the living form of my love and joy. How can you make me feel less than when I am capable of something so miraculous? You can't. No matter what trials, valleys, obstacles, or fears try to consume me, I need not tremble. My hands keep me connected to all that is safe, to all that I need to keep on fighting for. So much power flows through them, making everything I touch and me one and the same. They are my peace, my harmony, my hope, constantly absorbing reminders of my resilience.
The last time I saw the woman I was blessed to call my mom all my life, the woman whose blue eyes sparkled like the night sky, she was unable to see me. She had lost her sight to macular degeneration. Yet, when I think back to that day, I can't help but feel she somehow saw me more clearly than ever.
Reaching over a 3-foot wide table for hugs with my mom that have a time limit feels so cold. The last time I saw my mom was sitting across her from a dinner table, not a prison table.
I had barely gotten her door open, and she knew. She knew it was me. Her head propped up on a pillow, she strained to lift her hands, one by one, to my face.
We are like ghosts. You can see through and never fully know. When you reach out with your hands, it feels like grabbing smoke.
Sliding her fingers softly, she paused briefly when she felt my tears. She smiled, and I smiled. It was as if we both drifted to the same memory.
The love we have feels fresh and clear, but even that is like a one-way mirror. Holding on to memories of homework meltdowns, hockey career saved records, and prom night pictures on blue stone steps.
We had been here many times, Mom's fingers gently caressing my skin. When I was a child, she so often used her fingers like paintbrushes across my back to put me to sleep. I still can feel her gentle touch.
These good things, I always remember and think of when I feel life is beginning to be a fight. At least those moments of joy, I know we can make this work for another 9 years. But making new memories over the phone for 15 minutes won't ever be right.
When I'm alone with the memories, I understand how deeply she was able to see me, to love me that last day, using her hands and her heart.
You have 1 minute left.
That's the way I connect with her still, even after almost 10 years of her passing. I run my fingers along her photo and let my heart do the rest.
Mom, I love you and I miss you. I'll call you later.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
My small warm hand grasped your finger as I opened my eyes to take in this new world. My hands kneaded your skin as I sucked. My hands pulled your hair, played with your earrings, and explored your body as I nursed. My hands in your mouth, in my mouth, sucking my thumb and soothing me to sleep. My hands entertained me for hours, making shadow puppets against the bedroom walls. My hands made messy masterpieces of finger paint. My hand held yours while I needed comfort. My hands pawed, pinched, pulled, and harassed you endlessly. My hands enveloped yours as we traced the letters of my name, A, B, Y. My hands turned the pages when you read to me from the secret garden as I fell asleep. My hands growing, fingers stretched to play all the keys on the dusty piano. My hands learning to weave, tuck, and braid each hair into place on my head. My hands wrestling yours into submission as you let me win at thumb wars. My hands pushing you away as they grew, nails nervously nibbled to the quick. My hands secretly writing love notes and hiding them under my bed. My hands wearing garish nail polish to appear older and more mature. My hands getting larger, fingers lengthening into the long, slender hands of a woman. My hands wrapped around the stem of a glass sipping wine. My hands delicately tapping the ash of a cigarette. My hands sticky with pungent green residue rolling a joint. My hands crushing pills and scraping them into neat, straight lines. My hands holding the syringe as I emptied the maple sugar-colored contents into my veins. My hands sweaty and shaking, so fearful of you finding out. My hands bruised and track-marked, hiding in pockets too ashamed for you to see. My hands clenched in yours, as I promised, yet again to get clean. My hands praying as I continually failed to do so. My hands cuffed and locked behind bars. My hands gripping mine across a visitation table. My hands opening wide to embrace the learning I receive. My hands learning to hold my heart proudly and push through those years of pain. My hands holding yours as we went laughing into the ocean.
come to work with the women at York, we are often forced to keep things simple. So bringing in extra instrumentation and any other outside items can be cumbersome, so we keep it simple. But one instrument every woman at York has is that heartbeat. And I know in this room, everyone here has a drum as well. So I'm gonna ask for your help, especially you. We need your help with this. My life's an outlet expressed with these hands. Good times and bad, yet never by my plan. Scars and jagged pieces touch these hands. Refined and sublime, I will make my stand. Ooh, mama, na she raised me right. Ooh, mama, na she raised me right. Ooh, mama, na she raised me good. Ran tight ship with an iron fist to raise me good. I struggle with these hands, but with God's grace, found a perfect imperfection in this place. I feel the warmth of the sun within my heart. If we stay honest, we are doing our part. Yes. Ooh, mama, na she raised me right. Ooh, mama, na she raised me right. Ooh, mama, na she raised me good. Ran tight ship with an iron fist to raise me good, yeah. Bump, ba-dum, bump, ba-dum, bump. We're gonna snap it, snap, snap. Bump, ba-dum, bump, ba-dum, bump. We're gonna give it clap, clap. Bump, ba-dum, ba-dum, give me a hum. Bump, ba-dum, ba-dum, seal it with a kiss. Mwah.
I'm hanging on by a chemically coated thread right now, and I'm not entirely sure to where I might land once it snaps for good. I feel myself quickly sliding backwards, falling face first into the darkness, the very same one I barely made it out the last time. So this is it. This is where I finally lose myself. Have I finally let go of all the things I held on to for dear life over the past 9 months? Even as I write these words, the tears begin to fall, silent as usual, but the most pain-filled ones to ever come. I tell myself to hold on, just hold on. You have been through worse. I feel my grasp loosening, and as afraid as I am once again to be that person, I am more afraid of proving them right. Allowing them the satisfaction of thinking they were right all about me, all along. That it was only a matter of time before I showed my true colors. But if only they were willing to understand my true colors are what I've been showing all the time. And they shine bright. So how the hell did they not see? The beaming with pride after a job well done, the bright smile whenever I say hello to a total stranger, the glow of happiness maintained even in the face of darkness. Did I not shine bright enough? Or were they only able or willing to see the preconceived assumptions of my inevitable demise? Perhaps this time I will be lost for good, to be continued.
Hold on, sis. No one ever said this ride was a smooth one. Ups and downs, unexpected turns and twists, jolts, shock, loss, suffering, excruciating pain. But you can't forget those moments of bliss. Hold on, sis. The light is not that far away. Set your compass. Manifest your hopes and dreams today. State of darkness and despair is short-lived. Hit or miss. Hold on, sis. Don't let anyone dim your light. Tilt that chin up. Walk with purpose. There is power in your sachet, power in your stride. Hold on, sis. Yes, you've made some mistakes in the past, faced some trauma, misfortune, clouded with regret, pain, affliction, emotional distress. Only temporary, honey. This too shall pass. Hold on, sis. Your life is filled with purpose. You can't give in now. There is power in the valley. Inhale your future. Exhale your past. This is not the end of your story. I said, hold on, sis. Hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Don't worry about a thing. Hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Don't worry about a thing.
Have you ever heard of a walking stick? How about a talking stick? Back in the day, for Native people, all decisions were made in circles. If an issue needed to be weighed, whether social or political, everyone's contribution was considered valuable. Each time, they passed the stick, held it in their left hand, and spoke their own truth without interruption. In this way, all matters were decided respectfully in community. The power of equity and honor was held in these circles. What about now? What do our hands hold today? And who makes the decisions that affect us all? And what kind of power is being held? The hands of our children are holding electronic devices before they can even walk. Without ever making a conscious decision, they are set up to be targeted, bullied, and unknowingly preyed upon. Adolescent hands now clutch guns inside elementary schools, deciding who lives and who dies. The hands of adult politicians hold pens, signing laws that decide whether a woman's body is controlled autonomously or by the government, while others casually grip a gavel, deciding the incarceration terms of the socially, economically disenfranchised. How far astray we have traveled from the indigenous circles serving the good of all. We must remember that no matter where we're positioned inside the circle of life, we are all interconnected. Where a circle begins, it also ends. If we don't heed the warning soon and stop thinking in terms of us versus them, black versus white, rich versus poor, conservative versus liberal, each only concerned with one's own self-interest, I fear those same hands will strangle the very life out of what makes us human. Despite all this, I still hold hope. As we contemplate these tragic currents, it is crucial that we recognize our inner strength and resilience. This is a call to action, where we acknowledge and rectify our wrongs collectively, each one of us doing our part to create a future defined by justice and equity, respecting all diverse ways of life. How? We can start by using our hands to pull those levers inside the voting booth. Participate with integrity, as if holding the sacred talking stick, something I wish I could join you in. Until then, I offer you my talking stick as I lift my hands in prayer for all of us.
A lone hawk soars, so noble, so sleek, carefree in spirit, not somber nor meek, as it glides through the clouds, unaware that below live misfits and sinners, society's foe. So when it's the season to walk through the gate, let the lone hawk remind us that this trial's not fate. Estranged from the outside, we need to forgive ourselves and our neighbor in order to live. The hawk does not judge us as it takes flight to show that freedom is precious, the time's now to grow. So when it's the season to walk through the gate, let the lone hawk remind us that this trial's not fate.
I am a girl who smiles at the sun and talks to the moon. A girl with a terrible history of rushing into love way too soon. I am a girl who talks to total strangers. A girl who dances in the rain. A girl who will always ask how you're doing while deeply bearing her own pain. I am a girl who has never lived a normal life. A girl who will always fall for her friends upon the proverbial knife. I am a girl who always seems to find the good no matter how tightly wrapped up in the bad. A girl who will always be the first to try and make you smile anytime you're sad. I am a girl who has walked upon the fiery pits of hell, somehow always making it through to the other side. A girl who could easily fill every ocean river, every lake, and all of the tears I've cried. I am a girl whose skin, according to society, does not match her name. A girl who opens her mouth only once before options quickly change. I am a girl who refuses to take no for an answer. A girl who always wants to know why. A girl whose fierce loyalty runs deep than the night sky. I am a girl who has temporarily lost her way. A girl whose path has been paved by what others have to say. I am a girl who has forever been and will forever be misunderstood. A girl who had to come to prison in order to conquer all the things I was told I never could. I am a girl who will always get back up in time when you decide to knock me down. A girl whose hands will always break free no matter how tightly bound. I am a girl who loves waterfalls, sunsets, sea turtles, and fall. A girl who thinks that sloths are the greatest creature of them all. So take my hand, because I am a girl who will never give up at all.
Learn to love myself. Take these demons off the shelf. Learn to forgive myself internally, externally. I just wanna be okay with me. Hey! Learn to let go. Learn to let my feelings show. Learn to be vulnerable internally, externally. I just wanna be okay with me. Learn to tear it down. Leave the these pieces on the ground. I was lost, but now I'm found. Internally, externally, I just wanna be okay with me. Hey! The storm's rolling in, and I won't let it win. I won't let it in. Hey! Internally, externally, I just wanna be okay with me. Yeah! Internally, externally, I just wanna be, we're gonna do it again, okay with me. One more time. Internally, externally, I just wanna be okay with me. Hey! Q&A. Please stick around if you have any questions. Judy would love to sit with us, and we're going to share anything you have questions about.
Well, let's hear it again for the Justice Dance Performance Project.
So we would love to hear from you, for those of you that can stay, if you have any questions or comments. We have, Shonda.
If you have a question and you'd like the microphone to amplify, you can put your hand up and I can bring it to you, or you can speak nice and loud for everyone to hear you. It's up to you.
Use the microphone.
Speak out.
So beautiful and so moving. Thank you.
Yes.
So I just want to know, I saw all of the women that you performed for today last year when we did this piece. And I just wonder what it was like for each of you to embody that person's spirit, because you surely did. So.
Yeah, and just to augment that, as you answer that question, and I'd like every person to answer it, if you could say who you are in your life.
Well, I'm Angela, and I work with the women with the music, and it's so funny because we always tap right here to activate our intuition. So before singing Angelina's song just now, I was like tapping her, and I was like, Angelina, come on, come with me. And so I really feel her. That song was the first time ever we've had a request, like an encore with that song. The women at the facility went crazy for that song and demanded to hear it again. So Angelina would be very proud to have it sung in a church today with you all.
Hi, my name is Melissa. Wow, I got to move through it. So my language is a little different in terms of interpreting through body and through spirit. I think we all bring our own story to the table, and I'm really proud to be able to be a vessel for the words of the women in York.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen. Sometimes I think of my words being not adequate to speak for these women, but every time I do a piece that they have written, I give my whole heart and soul to it, and that helps me continue on to be the person that I am today.
Hi everyone, I'm Robin, and I've through the years performed a few different pieces from the women. I've been with Judy a long time. And from the first time we did it to today, it's always that feeling of hoping that I can do their words justice. And many times I've heard the women whose piece I'm doing actually perform it, and that makes it even harder. Even though I can feel their spirit and I've seen their performance, to try to pull that in and then put it out there to you, it's just, it's a spiritual connection for sure. Huh? Oh, and I've been with Judy and the company for 20 years, since the very first time at York. And I'm also a previously incarcerated person. That's what she was getting at. Because I could tell you a lot of stuff. But anyway, I served time at York from 1997 to 2000. And then somewhere around 2004 or 5, I was allowed to go back in as a volunteer. And I've been able to be back inside working with the women and working on the outside, working in the men's prison, doing a moms and kids, dads and kids, working with the 18 to 25-year-olds at Worth unit at York. And so I'm so blessed. And I never thought I would ever be excited about walking back in the prison. But when I get to go through the front door, I know that it's God's work.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I am formerly incarcerated. I was incarcerated from 2004 to June of 2022. I have written many pieces throughout the years with Judy on the inside, and both Robin and Jolly has brought my words out here while I was still on the inside. And when I got out, the first few months that I got out, we had done a performance, and that the piece that Robin has done so many times on my behalf, I actually got to share the stage with her and the piece that she has spoken and I had written, which collaboration came together beautifully. And to now be able to take these women that I've spent so many years with, take their voices out like these women had done for me, is amazing.
I'm Jolly. I'm also previously incarcerated. I did 13 years, and I have been working with JDPP since 2010, I believe. I participated in the residency for the Performance Project, but also in the Mom and Kids program, in which my children participated as well. When I went in, I had an infant, basically. She was 10 months old, and a 2-year-old, almost 3. They are now 18 and 20. And the JDPP program helped immensely in helping them become well-adjusted adults. I don't think it would have been possible without that intervention, because it also allowed us to spend more time together while I was on the inside, more quality time without the guards watching everything you do and chastising children for being children. They were able to play and have fun and do fun things. And while I was incarcerated, I wrote pieces as well that were performed by many of them for me while I was on the inside. And then it was really, really awesome to be able to, before she was released, be offered the opportunity to perform one of her pieces, knowing her so well for over a decade that we had been living, working together. It was very, very moving, and at the same time felt like a huge responsibility to make sure that her words were being conveyed properly with the right intention, which I know that she wrote them with. And it's intimidating on one hand, but it's also very, very relieving to be able to know that in a very, very tiny way I was helping, and I was with her still, even though we weren't physically able to be together or speak in any way or form. But I think it's a good circle this program. It began one way, and like Judy says, it has grown in so many ways and has made all of our aspects of our lives so much fuller. It has helped employ me in certain parts because I worked as a fellow in the office. It has helped make my dreams come true. I always wanted to be a professional singer. So in all those ways and more, it has helped. And now through these performances, through bringing their words out to you and having their words spread, it feels like it's coming full circle, and it's just going to keep on repeating. So thank you all for being here.
Hi, my name is Victoria Steele, and it's an honor and a privilege to bring the words out. I am a person in recovery from mental health and addiction, and I spent most of my young adult and adolescent years in and out of prison, and I'm grateful today because I've been out for 15 years. I now work in inpatient psych, right, with the same young adults. And I've been with Judy for, I want to say about 12, 13 years. And I met her on the outside. I was in a program, and they were collaborating with Judy on a project, New Beginnings, which is still going on today. It's a collaboration between Trinity students and our inmates that come out and are transitioning back into the community. So it's a beautiful program, and it actually kind of, touch upon the human piece, because we are all human, right? And so we're different people, and it's okay to be different, but at the end we connect because we're human, right? And so it's been a really honor and a privilege to be a part of this program and see it evolve. I'm gonna get emotional because I'm so grateful, right? Because I've learned so much, right, through this process and through writing and telling my story through art. I write too, but today you didn't hear any of the pieces that I wrote. I brought the women's voices out, which was huge for me. I haven't had an opportunity after 15 years to go back in, but I'm sure I will. And I'm not gonna keep the mic long. I like the mic. I'm not gonna keep it long, but yeah, I'm gonna pass it.
Hi everybody, I'm Tracy. So I'm just very emotional. I've been working with Judy for almost 30 years. And this is the first time I've performed in the last 6 years due to health issues. And the fact that I'm here today, working with women that I worked with on the inside, and now I get to be on the stage and share this with them, is such an honor and a true gift. I work with the movement, with the women inside. I worked with the Dads and Kids program, Moms and Kids. I worked with Jolly's kids for years, and I can't believe how old they are now. But it is such a gift to dance my story and dance their stories. It is just a beautiful privilege, and the women are human beings, and they have talent beyond anything you could even imagine, and they are just gorgeous, and sharing my time, their gift and my gift together is a true privilege. So thank you for being here and sharing it with us.
I don't know if I have the words to adequately say how deeply your performance affected me. I thought those words were your words. You did the women justice by what you were saying. Yes, absolutely. This morning, Steve preached a beautiful sermon, and I heard an equal sermon this afternoon. Oh my God, wonderful. And lastly, I just want to say, Tracy, Melissa, the two dancers, liturgical dance, that's all I could think of. Magnificent. Thank you. Judy, thank you for these women. I mean, what a gift for all. Thank you.
Thank you, and you really need to know how much you honor us by being here. Each of you, not as a group, but each one of you has moved all of us. So your message should get to everybody. The more you perform like this, the more your message gets out, and it's so important for me to hear you, and I think each one of us. So thank you for honoring us. Thank you.
Do you have a favorite song that you've written?
I only wrote one song in my time there. I have been able to perform several, but I wrote one a few years ago that was kind of about, tell me why you're judging the way I am, if we're all human, if we all believe, if we all care. And that was pretty fun and interesting, and I had been challenged by Judy to write a song. I thought I never would. That was pretty awesome. But the song I performed today, I did not write. I never even got to meet the person who wrote the original poem off of which it was based. But she is with the Lord right now, so I every time I perform that, I feel that somehow she's with me, and several of the times there have actually been, well, twice, several. There's actually been a hawk flying nearby. So it feels like that song is very special and has like a connection that just reaches everyone.
We actually, the Woo, actually created a coming home song. And I think that was my favorite song. That was our only song, well, my only song that I created with the Woo, which is amazing. We haven't sung that song in a while, but it's actually a really beautiful song.
So thank you. Why don't we give Judy the last word? And Judy, just so you know, these flowers are for you. You're one of those saint people who make everyone shimmer around you. So thank you for the gift of everything.
Yeah, well,
I'm just curious. How does the program work for people who are from prison? Unless I don't get it, I don't think I got it.
how does the program work in the prison?
Yes.
Okay, so there are a group of women that apply to be in the group, and once you're in the group, you're always in the group for as long as you want to be. And if you don't get disciplines, sometimes they're taken out, but you can come back. And so they apply with an application, they get cleared by the prison administration. I read them. Basically, it's very hard to know from an application, and so generally they get into the group. And then what it used to happen before COVID is we split into 3 different groups. So we had a singers group, we had a speakers group, and we had a dancers group. And we would work in these separate subgroups and then join together at about 6 weeks out of to the performances. And then we would rehearse together. And in the meantime, the women all write, or everyone had the opportunity to write. And I take all that writing and the songs and the dances and script the piece in collaboration with the teaching team, of which Ange is a part, and Tracy. And there have been others earlier on that joined me in the very beginning. So the script gets approved by the prison, and then we work on it as a community. And it's a very intense program. It starts as once a month for the first 4 months, and then it becomes every week from January. And then in May, we start rehearsing. When we could, we rehearsed twice a week, and we also rehearsed double sessions. So the women were rehearsing, coming at 2:30 and staying until 6:30. So, and that happens until the performances. And then at that time, we did 4 performances. Now, then COVID happened. But right at the time that COVID happened, we had applied for an NEA grant. Fortunately, it was then and not now. And we got that grant, which we ended up not being able to do because we were in the midst of the pandemic. But the idea to me was that it was time to shift it to being one community from the beginning, that everybody could be in the dances, everybody could be in the songs, and that we didn't have these, and everyone could speak. And that has worked really, really beautifully. We have fewer women in the group because since COVID, it's been hard to pick up again for a variety of reasons with the numbers that we had. We had 20, often 20 or 22 women earlier, and now we have probably around 14, between 12 and 14. But the women are so courageous. They take risks. They're doing the dance that Tracy did, the first solo that she did, is actually a dance that all the women are going to do this time around. The theme for this year is time, because it's our 20th anniversary, and that was the theme on our very first year there. So we're working on that as a theme. So that's how, and it's been amazing. I think the women feel like they're a family, and they relate to each other. And prison is a place that discourages community. It encourages you to watch your back and not to trust anybody. So breaking that down is the first step to anything. And then realizing that the women are a family, and they remain a family when they leave. So I just went last Saturday to a reunion of women that are on the outside that wanted, Wesleyan had the idea with a number of other people to bring those women together, which is also something that is not encouraged by the DOC, but seemed like it was okay. And it was a beautiful, beautiful event where everybody, that family feeling happened again. Shonda, who's in the audience now, was there. And Shonda was in our group for many years, and it's amazing to see you here. So I think there is that sense of group that is very, very strong. So that's how it works. And I think the last thing I'd like to say is that we're living in a time, we all know we're living in a time that is extremely challenging and that really asks us to be brave and to speak out. And I think that these women, to me, are a symbol of that bravery and that ability to not accept or to not let what's happening internalize and to begin to believe that, but rather to speak their truth. And everything that you heard today is that voice of truth. And each one of us needs to challenge ourselves in that way right now. And I think that that's what I would leave you with, in thinking that as much as we've all shared this about prison, it's about our lives. And when I think about what could be our future, we would all be living in a kind of prison. And we don't want that to happen. We have a chance right now to prevent that from happening, I hope. So take it in your heart in whatever ways you can carry it out into your communities. Let's really make all of life a better place for all of us. And I think everybody here is committed to doing that as well. So thank you so much.
Before you go, I just want to draw your attention to 2 QR codes on the back of your program, okay? All of our performances are always free, so we like to include one QR code to invite people to give if you're interested in supporting the Justice Dance Performance Project. The other QR code that we hope you will take advantage of is the survey. We loved hearing your feedback here. We would love to see it in writing on that survey. So give those 2 QR codes a scan, particularly the survey, and have a great rest of your Sunday.